If that fish ain't on that line, ain't no sense in sitting crying. Bait that hook and keep it trying. Keep it going. It's a real cool poem. You got to check it out. Keep it going. You know, it kind of reminds me of something somebody said to me once, actually just recently. And it was, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I thought that was just kind of inspirational, and it got me a little excited, so I wanted to bring it to you. Hi, this is Dirrick, and I want to talk to you about that right there, where life begins and how we deal with it. You know, it's like F.L. Sadden said, if that fish ain't on the line, there ain't no sense in sitting crying. Bait that hook and keep it trying. Keep it going. Anyway, look, I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about, you know, when is it that we decide, I don't want to go any farther? When do we get to the point and decide it's not worth it? It's too hard. We know that life brings us challenges. We know that life is difficult. We know that there are things that, you know, are gonna make us want to stop and want to give up and, you know, just want to throw in the towel. But that's where life begins. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. That comfort zone, the place where you have grown to, is not the end of life. That's just the place where you are now. And as long as you got breath, as long as the sun shines and you're able to see it, as long as you can wake up in the morning, there is room for growth. There is room to keep growing. There is room to keep trying. There are more dreams, there's more aspirations, there are things for you out there, and you can't afford to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to toss it. No, that's the wrong approach. It's the wrong approach, you know. It's like the man said, if the fish ain't on the line, bait the hook and keep it trying. Just keep it going. Keep going, man. Keep going. You know, somebody told me once a long time ago, if life becomes easy, it might be because you're going downhill. Interesting phenomenon. There's wonderful things people have to say. People who have succeeded in life, people who've overcome, people who've met the challenge, people who have lessons and have lessons to teach you and have things to give you. And not material things. I mean, things of the soul, things of the spirit, things that will take you on to new horizons in life. Keep it going. Let's talk about that for a second. When you get to the point where you decide it's too challenging, when you get to the point when you decide I'm not going to do it anymore, when you get to the point where you say I'm just going to toss in the towel, isn't that always the time where everything comes together? I mean, it's interesting though, isn't it? I mean, as soon as you get out of the way, as soon as you give up, as soon as you stop pushing, as soon as you start arguing with life, that's when life begins to say, hey, here, like Burger King, man, have it your way. You know, isn't that interesting how that happens? And we know that happens. We know that's going to be the case. We know that there is nothing great formed against us that will succeed. There is nothing too challenging for you. There is nothing too hard. If you have the vision, if you have the thought, if you have the idea, if it's come to you, it's yours to manifest. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that, you know, it's just going to be, you know, boom, here, I want it, and bam, there it is. That's not the way life works. We know that. Anything worth having is worth working for. So why did we decide to stop working? Life begins at the end of the comfort zone. What is inside that comfort zone other than complacency, other than retardation, stagnation? I mean, how long can you go through the same routine every day? And I'm not saying this is for everybody, because there are those people who are routine-based and can continually do the exact same thing, and we need people like that in our lives. But for those of you who are visionaries, those of you who have a calling, those of you who really believe that there's a better day and it's always tomorrow, it's always coming, there's always time to grow, there's always time to succeed, there's always time to take on the challenge, there's always time to be better, there's always time to learn, there's always time to give. For those of you who have the energy and the insight, who are called to change your life and the lives of the people around you, you know what? Life is going to be challenging. Why? Because change is not easy. Because people don't necessarily like change. Because it requires you to find a new part of you. And that can be challenging. But fear not. Keep it going. What is your dream? What is your hope? What is your aspiration? What do you want to do in life right now? Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? You have it inside of you. It's sitting right there in front of you. It's an arm's distance. You could reach out and grab it right now if you wanted to. That's the way you feel. And you start going towards it. You start working towards it. You make your plans. You got everybody in your circle excited about it. You're talking about it. And it's just like, wow, it's going to happen any minute now. And it doesn't happen in a minute. Or an hour. A day, a week, a month, years. You know, there's an interesting thing I read once. Orville Redenbacher, you may not even know this guy, but he spent 35 years developing the perfect popcorn kernel. And after he did it, 7 years after he did it, he passed away. But he changed popcorn. He changed life for a period of time. I mean, all you could see on television were these commercials about popcorn and how big and fluffy they were and how moist they were and how they contained the butter better than anybody else and this, that, and the other. It was, it's popcorn, dude. You know, I mean, come on, really? What are you going to do with popcorn, right? Amazing. Kind of like the pet rock. It took off. It changed the world for a minute. But he reached his goal. He never stopped. He kept trying. He kept pushing until he found the right combination. And when he did, it was confirmed by everybody's acceptance, everybody's approval, and everybody's desire to have that popcorn. So, what do you have? What's your calling? You know, it's funny because it may not come right away. You know, it could be at age 20, it could be at age 35, it could be at age 60. Did you know that Colonel Sanders was like 80 years old when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken? I mean, he was like an old dude, you know? But do I have to tell you what happened? I mean, at one point he served more chicken in the world. The only person that served more chicken than him in the world was the United States military. I mean, that's a lot of chicken. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you drop your line in the water and you try to pull out your fish, your dream, your meal, your ticket, and it's not there? There ain't no sense in sitting crying. Bait that hook and keep it trying. Keep going. Keep going. I work for a company locally, and the story is that it's a union-based company, and based on union rules, the people that have greater seniority at the end of the day have an opportunity to either leave or stay. They come in earlier because of seniority, and then at the end of the day, when it slows down, the people in the office ask, do you want to stay or do you want to go home? And if they say I stay, then the person with the less seniority gets cut from the day and they go home. Or if they say I go, then the person with the less seniority has to continue to keep working. Kind of messes up your schedule if you ever have something planned. Anyway, this guy I used to work with Bernie, great guy, Hispanic man, and he had this kind of, well, he had the accent and didn't speak English well, but he spoke English. Great guy. I mean, you'd love him if you met him. So at the end of the day, we hear, Bernie, do you want to wash it up and go home? You want to stay here and keep working? And he'd always say, keep going, keep going. Keep going. It became a joke. Everybody in the company knew what he was going to say. People used to get on the radio and answer for him. Keep going, keep going. And Bernie would just keep going and just keep going and just keep going. And it's interesting. It was funny because it became a joke, but it gave people enthusiasm. He lifted up people. He made people want to keep working by that attitude. Keep going, keep going. At the end of the day, when people wanted to go home, when it was ugly and it was cold and it was bitter and you just didn't want to be there anymore, after 12 hours of working, after all the drama that goes into this job and everything else, Bernie would say, keep going, and everybody would just kind of hang with him. Keep going, keep going. And that's my message to you right now. You're gonna get your vision, you're gonna get your dream, something's gonna come to you, and at some point it's gonna become too difficult for you within your own self to achieve what you set out to do. And it's at that precise moment that you have to reach inside yourself and say to yourself, keep going. Keep going. You must keep going. Where does that come from? Where does that keep going mentality come from? Where does that spirit come from? Where does that drive come from? I mean, you can do it over years and develop an attitude about, yes, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. But where does that come from? And this is probably the key point. Everything happens in relationship. And everything is spiritual before they are physical. Everything is intangible. Just the idea, the thought, the hope, the vision, the faith. It's all intangible. But it comes to you, comes through you, and manifests by you. So when you get tired and you want to stop, you got to remember something. It's an intangible force that you must reach into. And you've got to realize that you're not alone, that it's out there. Okay, we can call it God, we can call it cosmos, we can call it spirit, we can call it Allah, we can call it whatever you want to call it, but call it out because it's there. When you are reaching into the depths of you to keep going, when you are reaching in for that one last breath, when you're just about to give up and walk away, and you know for a fact that it's right there, and you just got to give it one more try, reach into that intangible space. Not with force, but with gratitude. Expect it to be there, and watch what happens. It's all there for you. If that fish ain't on that line, ain't no sense in sitting crying. Bait your hook and keep it trying. Keep it going. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So get up and remain on the edge. Do not become complacent. Do not give up. Don't accept mediocrity as a way of life. There's more to life. There's more to you. There's more for you. It's out there. And it's all yours. All you have to do is keep going. I guess I can say I want to summarize this. I want to bring it all together for you. I want to give you something, some nugget to take home with. But that's nugget enough, isn't it? If you haven't heard, I will say it one more time. If that fish ain't on the line, ain't no sense in sitting crying. Bait that hook and keep it trying. Keep it going. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Keep going. Have a great day. and I wish you all the best.